Okay, so we're now looking at question number 5 from the International A-Level Jan 2020 Decision 1 Maths paper. And in question number 5, we are given a precedence table and they want us to draw an activity network based on that. So we can start by going down here and we can label the source node and the sink node over here. Give us a little bit of space so we can work this out. So if we go back to the table over here, we can see that activities A, B, and C all depend on nothing, so that means they are coming out of the source node over here. So we can draw them out. A is going to be going up here, B is going to be going up here, C is going to be going down here. So this one is A, this one is B, and this one is C. Let me just draw A better than that. There we go. Bring these. Oh. C's. Okay, there we go. So these are activities A, B, and C. And now we want to do the other activities here, which we have D and E. So here we are given that D is coming out of activity A and E is coming out of activity C. So we can draw these. So this one is going to be D out of activity A, and this one is going to be E coming out of activity C. So now we're done with these two. Now we can look at the next two we have here, which is F and G. Both depend on A, B, C. So they're going to be coming out of the exact same node. So the only way we can connect A and C together here is if we connect them to B using a dummy activity. So we can draw the line here. It's not that clear. Let me just better dot lines here like that. And then we can extend two lines, one going here and one maybe going here. So these ones are going to be, this one can be F, G, doesn't matter, the order does not matter. So let's just label this one as F. This one is G. I forgot to label this one as D. Node here. So let's go back to the table. There's one more ABC, which is I just noticed that. So we can do this one real quick. So I could be going down here possibly. So that's the only place a third activity could come out of A, B, and C together. So that's going to be I. And then we can look at, we've done F, G, now we can do H. We can say that H is going to be coming, wait, what was H depending on? D, F, and G. So D, F, and G, the only way to connect them together is if we add a dummy activity right over here. This node. So now we have D, F, and G all together. We can add an extra node over here. Label this one as H over here. So now we got J, K, and L. J depends on D, F, and G. So J is also going to be coming out of here. This one is going to be J. And then we got K, which links to H. So this is the source node that we have, or I mean the sink node that we have. So we can, I think, link K like that. And a node here. That's not going to connect now. It's going to be empty. We need. I think it's better if we take J and H, swap them. So this one is going to be H. This one is going to be J. And then we can add activity K here. And then we can add activity J here. We can erase this. We don't need it. Ended up erasing the entire thing. Delete that node. Select this. Shift it a little bit here. And then we have the last activity, which is we did K, we got L, depends on D, F, G, and I. So D, G, F, and I, which is this one, I forgot to label it. Oh, I keep forgetting. So D, G, F, I, and D, I think so as well. Well, it doesn't matter. So if it depends on I, then it must depend on this as well. So it's going to look something like that. And then we can add a dummy activity over here. So we can link the GNF to it. So this is activity L. And this should be it for the activity network. Okay, so for the second part of this question, the second part gives us the answer. Okay, second part of this question says, given that all critical paths for the network include activity H, state which activities cannot be critical. So let's just take a look at the graph over here. Activity, since we know that this is a critical path, we can determine that K is also going to be a critical path since it's connected to K. And then we can do the same thing as a backwards pass. So anything that makes H happen. So H depends on F. If F does not happen, then K is not going to happen. So then we got, well, H is not going to happen as well when we have D, F, and G. So this is critical as well. And this one is critical. And since this one is critical, then A is also critical. B is also going to be critical over here. And it also depends, what does H depends on? H depends on C, since it depends on F. So it cannot, and what else does it depend on? Yeah, I think that's it. So the activities that are not highlighted are not part of the critical path, so they cannot be critical. So if these activities are removed, we can still have H and we can still go to K. So yeah, the activities that cannot be critical over here is going to be E, I, L, and J. So E, I, L, J. And this is it for part B from question number 5. And this marks the end to question number 5. Now we can go to question number 6.